Hello Capricorn, welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the current energy for the sign of Capricorn for the week of August 8th. Now do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. Let's go and see what we have here. Now we are looking at this week, which starts off with 8-8, and 8-8 is like a numerological portal called the Lion's Gate. So if you're into manifesting, you can use the 8-8 day to manifest something important in your life. If that's something that you are inclined to do, you can check that out. Let's go ahead and make sure we're all set up in view. Now I am using the Gilded Tarot as well as the Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck. There are links to all of these decks in the description below if you'd like to pick them up for yourself. All right. We'll go ahead and put those up there. And okay. I think that's just about good enough to me. So Capricorn, I feel like saying, and I don't know why, I just feel like I also said this to you in a previous reading, but I really feel like the worst is behind you here. There's been a tussle, okay? There's been a conflict in the past. For some of you, this is clearly at the mental level, a mental conflict. For others of you, this may have been an outward conflict with somebody, maybe family, maybe friends, maybe colleagues, maybe someone else. There may have been a conflict here in the past. The thing is, the future looks a lot brighter, and especially because we have this card in the middle here, which I'm going to talk about some more, but it is interesting. You have a very, very interesting combination of the Judgment card and the Hanging Man in the future, which you do not see very often. It's a very serious combination in that you really hold the key here. Okay, you really hold the key to your life and where you want to be going, which is always the case, but that is certainly the case when you have the Judgment and the Hanging Man. So we'll talk about that more as we go along, but in the overall situation, you do have this Ten of Cups. And the Ten of Cups is one of the happiest cards in the tarot. I think probably I would rank it maybe the second happiest card to find in a tarot reading. This is like emotional windfalls. This is happiness windfalls. This is getting to the final cup at the end of the rainbow here. You can see this family is celebrating, they're enjoying themselves, they're doing something nice out in nature, and they also own the home behind them. So you could say that this is a card of abundance as well, not just like material abundance, although owning a home certainly is, but it's also emotional abundance, okay? And, you know, I'm being drawn into these bees here for whatever reason. I don't think I've ever really picked up on these, but I'm almost getting this idea where it's just like the world keeps spinning, right? Like nature just keeps on ticking, you know, things keep on moving. And for whatever reason, I get the sense that that is an important thing to say to some of you, because in the past I do think that there's been something around anxiety and fear, maybe even a little bit of depression. I think it's probably more around fear for some of you, because you have this Five of Wands and the Nine of Swords. Here's the thing, the future is uncertain, right? I mean, as a tarot reader, like I make predictions, but they don't all come true. And if I could do that, then, you know, I would be on a yacht somewhere, you know, like nobody can truly accurately, perfectly predict the future, myself included, or you, me, anybody, right? Anybody. And the thing is, there's inherent uncertainty in life, okay? And so it's like sometimes we just have to realize that the world keeps spinning, right? Nature keeps ticking. Things keep going on. The bees keep buzzing. And with this Nine of Swords and the Five of Wands, it's like this person here is having a nightmare. They are wrapped up in the uncertainty of the future. They are in doom mode, right? They fearful of the future here. And the Five of Wands is a conflict. It's possible that something challenging happened between you and another person. It's also just possible at the mental level this is happening. Now, what's really important here for you is that this is in the past, okay? This is in the past. The first two cards are showing up in the past. The other two cards here are the future. This middle card is the overall situation. And so, like I said at the beginning of this reading, there is a real feeling of a turnaround, or of this idea that the worst is behind you, Capricorn. Now, in the future, you have the Judgment card and the Hanging Man. I have to tell you, this is not a combination that comes in very often. The Judgment card is a very serious card. It's definitely not a bad card. It is, well, just, there are pluses and minuses to all cards in tarot. I just try to be a more positive reader, but it's serious in that the Judgment card can bring the results of the actions that you've taken. So you can't see it really in this illustration, but these people on the card are awaiting their fate, okay? And their fate is tied to the actions that they've taken. They are receiving a judgment or a ruling. And so when you get the Judgment card, it says that if you've taken the right actions, you are set. Like, you are about to hurdle, like you are about to go to the world, which is the last card in the Major Arcana. It comes after the Judgment card. You're about to complete something big. It also asks you to go into a period of self-evaluation. And if you know that there is something that you are not doing, look at that, right? Like, look at what you are not doing and use that as an option for you to get to the world, right? Like, evaluate yourself. What do you need to do to get to your goal, right? What do you need to do to complete something when you have the Judgment card? It is a major card of karma. It's definitely not a bad card. It's also this idea of, gosh, what was the other message that was coming in for you around this? Well, if it comes in, like a spiritual awakening is a message. It can be an extremely spiritual card when you get the Judgment card, because having to go through self-evaluation exposes you. And yeah. So I do feel like maybe some of you have maybe been doing some shadow work here. But the thing is, the Judgment card here it's paired with the Hanging Man, which makes this very interesting. Because the Hanging Man is somebody who needs to take action. Right now, they're not doing anything wrong, but they're also not moving forward. They are just kind of being, right? They're just kind of suspended in air. Now, it is interesting because I was getting that message around like just allowing the bees to buzz and just allowing the universe to sort of the world to keep spinning. But there might be a situation here in the future where you have to let go of something and you have to just kind of embrace a transformation. And I think that there's also something around just realizing that we live in an inherently uncertain situation, right? Like, yeah. So let's see what else we have here. You have the Magician. You have the Page of Cups. You have the Seven of Cups. And you have the High Priestess. Okay, so I do have to say, maybe some of you here, some of you here may have a lot of options in love. This was not really feeling like a love reading to me, but there is this interesting other combination now coming in with the Page of Cups and the Seven of Cups. That's literally an abundance of options, and it's probably related to, it could be related to dating options. If you are looking to date, that could certainly be the case. I would say go with whatever makes you happiest because of the Ten of Cups around it as well. Now, what this could also be talking about, and this might be a little bit more relevant, is some of you have so many different opportunities here. So the Seven of Cups is an abundance of choice. The Page of Cups is an opportunity that makes you happy. You have an abundance of opportunities or an abundance of choice in terms of moving towards happiness at this time. And so what does that look like? Well, that looks like you getting true to yourself here with the Judgment card, evaluating what actually truly makes you happy. Along with that, we have the Magician and the High Priestess on the ends here. I keep saying this, but you have an extremely interesting reading. This is a unique reading, okay? This is not a reading that I typically see. The Magician and the High Priestess come one after the other. They're on the ends. The Magician is the divine masculine. The High Priestess is the divine feminine. As you know, if you watch my channel, we all have the divine feminine and the divine masculine within us. So you are combining those energies right now to help yourself and to bring something. I would say if you're at all interested in manifestation, I would do something on 8/8. It could be as simple as writing out a journal, do some sort of manifestation technique. And I would really take advantage of that time, because the Magician is the master manifester and you have this interesting reading. The High Priestess says, trust your intuition and trust what you know to be true for you, which I think is also very, very heavily coming in here with the Judgment and the Hanged Man. If there's something that in the future coming up here that in the future, if there's something that you need to let go of, this reading's saying, hey, might be a time to let go of that. So let's go ahead and let's see what else we have here. So you have Eagle, see from a higher perspective. You have Knight, be brave and honest. And then you also have Trader, exchange energy to create abundance. The bee symbolism here, allowing the bees to buzz, seeing from a higher perspective with the eagle, it's interesting. And then also this Trader card, I think, was really coming forward for you, which is like there's something around you consciously creating abundance in your life in whatever way that looks like. And I think some of you here, so like if we just look at the Nine of Swords, this person's like in their room, they're trapped in their room, having a nightmare, like going through a fear situation. I think for some of you, it's like the bravery here is also like you are embracing some type of bravery into your life and being honest with yourself in your situation. And that's creating some type of abundance in your life in whatever ways that might look like. I'll be interested to see what other messages we get with that exchange energy to create abundance card, because I also think that that's really sticking out. But let's go ahead and start to clarify. Now, if you're enjoying this video so far, please do hit that like button and subscribe, as it really does help my channel grow in a big way. So you have the Three of Cups, you have the Four of Swords, and you also have the Queen of Swords. So some of you here might be, the Three of Cups, it's showing up in the past half. So this could have, there could have been a conflict with another person here. Now that we have this Three of Cups and the Five of Wands, I also think, just going back to what I originally said, I do think for some of you it's maybe at the fear level, at the mental level, but Three of Cups certainly could involve others here. But, as I look at this exchange energy to create abundance with the Three of Cups, it's possible that some of you are finding success through collaboration in the future as well. That's also, or maybe that's just something you're realizing. The Four of Swords is somebody who's really healing from heartbreak. Whatever happened here in the past, some of you are really looking to consciously work through that. And you have this Queen of Swords, which is somebody who has an extreme focus on their goals, on an outcome. I always like to say, and I say this in a good way, the Queen of Swords is like the assassin in the tarot. They really go after their goal and they do not let anybody get in their way. They do not let anybody hold them back. So I love that energy for you. I think some of you are also really looking to embrace some type of grounded perspective here and realizing that the world just kind of keeps spinning. The bees keep buzzing, and there's a sort of rhythm to everything in nature at this time as well, which there's something here around like understanding that uncertainty is just a part of life in this reading, okay? And I've never really said that in another reading, but embracing uncertainty. You have the Six of Cups, and you also have the Knight of Cups. So we are now getting some sort of love story here showing up. If I'm looking at this diagonal, you have the Nine of Swords, Page of Cups, Four of Swords, and the Knight of Cups. So to me, this looks like you recognizing that like trying to force a relationship is simply not going to manifest the right outcome for you in terms of love. I think some of you are really recognizing that. I think in taking a step back, in understanding that like your future, if you're single, your future partner, there's uncertainty there, just allowing the uncertainty to exist. I think some of you taking a step back here opens up an opportunity for someone else to come in. Hopefully that makes sense. Like in grounding yourself, in taking a step back, also in evaluating yourself here, evaluating your needs, your wants, your desires. With the Judgment card, you also now know how to manifest someone into your life. You have the Six of Cups as well, which is something from the past here. There's a memory of the past that is a little bit challenging, might have been love related, might have been in some other area of your life. But with the Three of Cups, the Six of Cups, and then the Five of Wands, Nine of Swords, definitely memories of the past here. But the other thing is, the Six of Cups asks you to be grounded in the now and to spend as much time as you can in the now. It's easier said than done. I personally have had struggles with that, but it's certainly something that helps me personally as well. When I am in the now, it's really the best way forward if you can do it. But yeah, it really helps. Let's see what's at the top of the pyramid here. So you have the Empress, major sign of abundance. It's also the mother archetype. It's possible that some of you are healing some family situations as well. But yeah, it's definitely a card of fertility in that you could see something in your life grow in a big way. It's also Venus as well. It's the card associated with Venus. And then on the bottom, you have the Star, which is an incredibly good card. One of my favorite, if not my favorite cards in the tarot. The Star brings a wish into one's life. It grants somebody a wish or something that they've been hoping for. It's also hope, optimism, and healing for the future. Yeah, so love this reading. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe. Really appreciate you, and I will see you in the next reading.